What's going on, OPB? Mitch here from the OmniBuddy channel, here to give you a quick overview of one of the latest DC books to drop, one of my absolute favorites to drop. It is by Kelly Sue DeConnick. We're talking about Wonder Woman Historia. All right, so I have here the regular standard edition cover. I just love how clean it is. But there is a direct market cover that is really freaking awesome too. I had a really hard time choosing between them. And actually on the inside of it has this big old splash kind of poster of all the characters and stuff. Super cool art. So if you like the clean style, great. If you want that exclusive poster and all that, hit it up for the DM variant on Organic Price Books. But you know what? This Kelly Sue and Phil Jimenez absolutely killed it on this book. So you know what? Let's quit talking about it like this. Let's lay it down on the table and find out why this book is so freaking cool. All right, so here we have Wonder Woman Historia, the Amazons. And this is a nice hardcover. This is the regular edition. It's not the direct market variant cover or anything like that. But here we have the spine here, kind of hold it up so you can see it a little bit better. And then here is the back, and this art, well, all of it really is very representative of what you're about to see. Very cool. This book does retail for $29.99, and it is a decent size regular hardcover. Let me grab a book here, and you can see here's, this is the IDW image. All of them are the same size, so it is that regular kind of omni size book, and dimensions and scale and all of that jazz. So yeah, it'll fit right on your shelves, looking nice. This one here, let's take out this dust jacket. It's got some really nice flaps on the dust jacket. The direct market version does have a fold out poster behind the dust jacket, which is super cool and very tempting, but I really do love this clean look with the peacock feathers and Wonder Woman and all that, which is cool. And then here we have the hardcover. It's got that nice foil kind of Greek god aesthetic, kind of cracked stone look to it, but that foily, and then that kind of got a little texture to it, which is cool. There is the spine again, and here's the back. So it's all got kind of that like marbled look to it, and that foil, gold foil, really nice. Black end sheets, which pretty typical DC to do black end sheets. I really wish that they would start doing some art on their end sheets more often. That would be super cool. So let's get into it. This is written by Kelly Sue DeConnick with art by Phil Jimenez, primarily. Then there's Gene Hahn, Nicola Scott on here, and a ton of colorists and others on here too. And then we get right into it with cover art right here, representative of the dust jacket. So we'll get into it. Starts off. I will also say the paper quality is pretty good. It's thick. You're not getting much for I didn't notice any real like see-through transparency or anything like that on the pages, so there wasn't any big issue with that. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so it can be a little humid, but usually I don't get much page wave, so this might just work itself out down the road. But some of my DC books get kind of wavy on my pages, but it's not too bad. It's you really notice it more when it's like on black like this, but then you get into the splash pages like this with lots of color, and you do not notice that. So this book talks about the genesis, the beginning of the Amazons, and it starts off with the Greek gods, or in this case the goddesses, hopefully I'm pronouncing the names right. I'm terrible at names. I really wish I was better with them. But Hestia, Artemis, Demeter, Hecate, something like that, Aphrodite, and Athena. And then you have Hera. But man, it just hits you hard over the head with just gorgeous art, but just kind of introduces you to the goddesses and kind of the queen bee of the goddesses, Hera. And then it just takes you, and it was kind of like when it jumped into this, it really hit me with the Disney Hercules kind of look with the pots and telling the story at the beginning. But I love that movie. One of my favorites, actually, one of my favorite Disney movies. But it just, I mean, come on, every page you turn is just like shockingly gorgeous and detailed and just, wow, like amazing art in this. I mean, every page, nearly every single page I turned, I just kind of was like taken aback when I flipped the pages open, because it was just, I've never seen art this detailed consistently throughout a book. I mean, every time you turn a page, just come on. But basically what it, so yeah, you'll see tons of crazy art. But basically what this is the goddesses being frustrated and fed up with the gods. So you have Zeus and all these other gods, and they don't appreciate the goddesses. They don't take care of the women on earth, and the goddesses are really just tired of it and they're done with it. And so they begin cooking up a plan after talking and meeting, and they begin cooking up a plan on how they are going to kind of change the course of the world and the course of womanhood and women on the planet and their plight, just being under men and all the craziness that happens with, pillaging and raping and all this crazy stuff. And they're done with it, and they are going to take pieces of them, plant them, and start something new. And what is this that they're starting new? Well, they are basically starting the Amazons. And jeez, I mean, look at this art, you guys. Like, if aside from the story being really, 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 really good, like one of the best, coolest, most original DC stories I have read, aside from that, this art, just, you may as well buy the book for this art. Just unbelievable. Look at this. So the goddesses, they're working together. They're doing this in secret behind the gods' backs, and they are going to start something new. And it's really cool kind of getting to know the different goddesses a little bit more and learning about them and the tribes and how each of the tribes of the Amazons began, and who their goddesses are that they not really work for, but serve or have allegiance to, worship, whatever. But jeez, come on. I'm just going to stop like at every page and be like, what in the world? So I don't like to give away things. I don't like to give away storylines or anything like that. So I feel like at this point I've almost given too much. But basically, you end up meeting the women of Earth as they are, and the goddesses and the gods, and you kind of seeing where everything's at. And then you see how it develops as the goddesses start to intervene and change the destiny of the women of Earth, and how that all happens, and kind of the realities of how that can happen. Obviously, it's not based in reality, but what unfolds when they do decide to make those choices, and then when they do decide to bring human mortal women into the fold, and how that can really affect things, change things, but how it is totally necessary. And man, is this book absolutely brutal too. Just, they do not pull punches with the violence, the gore, the plight. Oh my gosh. Jimenez does not pull punches with his art. It is just friggin' phenomenal. And I believe this is 3 main chapters all broken up, and you really get some really great story in here. I kind of flipped through slowly of the first one, but man, some goddesses aren't on board, some gods are sort of on board, and some of the human women aren't on board, and some are on board, and man, it just gets nuts, and it gets out of control, but in a good way, really fast, and it is a really cool setup. And what's cool is this book, like, it's Wonder Woman Historia. It's her history, but it's her history in that she is an Amazonian woman, and this is their history. So it's Diana's history, as much as it is any other Amazonian woman's history, and really women's history. It's super cool, super fun, really interesting to see the gods in the Greek gods in different lights and different takes. And you got Hercules and just some crazy stuff going on. And yeah, it's freaking awesome. And when stuff hits the fan, you really feel it in scale. And look at Zeus compared to Hera, like huge, tiny, just freaking awesome. You do not have to worry about how this ends, because it has very good payoff. It's a very short read, like I said. You can pound it out in a long day if you want, or over a few nights like I did, but you definitely cannot put this book down. So good. Dude does such a great job bringing you along, and I love that it is just super short. It took me a couple days because there is a lot of text and dialogue in here, but it's not this epically long read. You can just get into it, really have fun with it, and get a really good plot with amazing supporting art, and not have to worry about spending so much time devoted to one giant omnibus or something like that. And then there is a very good amount of extras in this book, actually. So it goes through all the tribes and like some of the major players in those tribes for each of the goddesses, and then you have the hidden figures. So this is just kind of like background on writing the story and sketches and things like that. Really cool stuff. And then you have the behind the panels, which obviously goes even further into that. And then, some more progression and things. And then, yeah, you have some of the scripting here too. So some really nice extras. I also really loved this, that they had the Historia pitch in here for the actual concept, format, scope, all this kind of stuff, and a laid out pitch. Super cool. I really like that because not only is it cool just to see how a story comes together, how it's pitched to one of the big twos like DC, but you can see how a top tier creator like Kelly Sue DeConnick actually pitches her story, and one that is actually picked up by the studio, so creators out there can get an idea of what one of these would look like. And it's just interesting to see how it's pitched to what actually happens on page and what you see on the pages. There are really no complaints I have about this book. The only two I really have are the dust jacket is not, the regular edition doesn't have that inside cover art like the DM variant, and then the actual end sheet paper doesn't have art. I really wish DC would do that, but those two things are really my only two complaints. And if those are the only two complaints that I have, heck yes. I'll put this dust jacket back on real quick. But yeah, you're not going to see the inside of the dust jacket or that end sheet art anyways when it's on your shelf and once you start reading, so you don't have to worry about it. But this book, do not skip out on it. So good. All right, so that was a quick look at Wonder Woman Historia. Like I said, man, Jimenez just absolutely killed it on art. I could not believe, like, every single page in that book was just a, like, you could blow it up, make it into a poster. It was every, like, I realize that it's all art, but the amount of detail and the just epicness and color and all of it coming, like, culminating, nearly every single one of those pages I flipped to the next page just blew my mind how crazy cool it looked and how great the art was and how much it really elevated the entire story. I mean, the story by Kelly Sue is just phenomenal. I love that you just kind of got to know a little bit about Wonder Woman. You don't need to, and the Amazons, you don't need to know a ton about all the history and backstory, because this is really where it all starts. So you don't even really need that canon of, you know, what happened in the past or anything. It is a great, probably one of the best for, like, kind of the main three DC characters, you know, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. At least in my mind, those are the main three. This is probably, like, one of the best books I would recommend for someone who wants to read one of the big three out of DC. It's a quick read, really cool story, really well done, some really great art, and then the art is just, like I said, now I'm just gushing, I'm just talking for the sake of talking, but yeah, definitely want to check it out. Hit up Organic Price Books, use a creator code for $2 off every order. You could use OmniBuddy discount code, or you could use one of the other great creators out there. Tons of us working with OPB. You're not going to find better shipping, better communication, better prices out there. So definitely hit them up. Grab either that DM variant or the standard edition, depending on what you're wanting out of it. But yeah, super cool story, super cool book. Don't miss out on it. It is chef's kiss. Hats off to Kelly Sue and Jimenez, because this story was friggin' awesome. All right, that's it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification, and if you want, you can head over to my channel, OmniBuddy channel, and follow me. I'm going to be doing some more overviews. I'm going to do a little bit different overview on this on my channel, so make sure to hit me up over there if you want. But don't forget to comment. Let us know in the comments what your favorite one-off story for the big three. So we're talking Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. What your absolute favorite one-off big three story is. Let us know in the comments. All right, I'll let you go. Take care. Stay cool.